Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Mad Chat. It's the show where we throw the questions out to our patrons at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. And at the $20 mark every month, if you kick us $20 to support Going In Raw, we'll if you send us a video. We'll put it up here on the show. Of course, you guys might know the show. You guys might not know the show. A lot of great friendos out there. We got a couple of new Matt Chatters, a couple of Matt Chat Hall of Famers with a terrific mix of questions. So let's hop right into it. Of course,
yes.
Today's the day after All In.
No, it's the day before All In. Day of All In. This is going up Saturday this week, not Sunday.
Oh, this is going to Matt Chat's going up Saturday.
This is going to be All In day.
Okay, so tomorrow is going to be our All In recap.
Yeah.
So looking forward to the show. Let's get right into it.
First question is from Josh Fields. Let's see what Josh Fields has to say.
What's going on, guys? Josh Fields here with another Matt Chat question. My question this week is simple. Stephen Larson, you're given temporary powers over time and space. You can make one change that will alter the entire course of professional wrestling history forever. What is the one change you would make and why? That's it. Too sweet, hearty handshake, and I look forward to seeing you guys at All In.
Thank you, Josh Fields.
Josh Fields knows us so well, Larson. We're big into time travel, space-time manipulation.
Yes.
That's a favorite subject of ours.
History.
Changing
history.
If I would go back in time, boy, there's a lot of things. Okay, let's take the obvious out of the equation. Let's take saving Chris Benoit's family out of the equation. Let's take saving Owen Hart out of the equation. Any number of wrestlers who met with tragedy. Let's take that because that's kind of dark, kind of heavy.
Let's just talk about stuff related to the sport of professional wrestling, directly related to the goings on.
Yeah, part of me wants to. There's one of two things that seemed. Part of me wants to save WCW. I feel like, and the other part of that is part of me wants to go back and say, don't turn Stone Cold Steve Austin heel. Really bad idea.
Yeah.
Super bad idea. It's going to tank your ratings, and it totally did. I would probably go back and somehow, some way, save WCW. I'm sure there's a way. Get in contact with whoever that dude was that didn't like wrestling on at
AOL Time Warner.
Yeah, whatever that guy's name was. There has to be a way to go back in time and somehow save WCW.
Yeah. That's
what I would probably do. I think it was kind of a shame that it went under. It probably would have anyways eventually. But I think that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
Save WCW. What would you have done if you can go back in time?
Just tell Hogan to stay retired. We left
Really?
WWF. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because if you want to save WCW, one of the first things you do is make sure Hogan never steps foot in that promotion.
You might have to take extraordinary measures to tell Hulk Hogan to stay out of the spotlight.
There's one extraordinary measure it'd probably take, and that's a large check.
I don't know. Didn't he just get a huge check off a court settlement?
Yeah.
And now he still wants a spotlight? He's trying to steal the NWO trademark?
If that happens, then you don't have him ruining the NWO, him and Bischoff.
Yeah.
Get Sting in there. Always, that's like one of the greatest wrestling what-ifs in my mind. What if Sting was the third man in the NWO? How awesome would that have been?
Okay,
what a shocker. Granted, not the shocker quite that Hogan was, but it was still been a massive shocker because Sting for nearly a decade was top babyface in WCW.
Yeah.
He turns heel. That would have been amazing.
Let me ask you something.
What?
That to me would have been easier to just go to Hulk Hogan and say, listen, don't this NWO thing. I've been in the future.
But here's the problem.
It tanks. Don't be any part of it.
He still would have ruined it somehow. He's still been in WCW. I want him out of the picture entirely.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Well, not.
Yeah. No, man.
To a grim degree.
I think that's what you're talking about.
I just don't want him in wrestling anymore.
That's what you're talking about.
No, I just don't want him in wrestling anymore.
You're like, hey, Hulkster.
No, I wouldn't do
tires going to jack up his brakes or whatever. Man, yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's interesting. You just want to know what the NWO would have been like without Hulk Hogan.
So I think it would have been remarkably different.
You're probably right. I would think that Sting's ego. I'll put it this way: given that we know that, according to Scott Hall, with one seemingly offhand comment said, "You should try to do what that Crow movie does. You should try to dress like the Crow." And then Sting was like, "Oh, that's a great idea." And then that was just Sting then.
Yeah.
I think that he probably would have been more willing to listen to Hall and Nash in terms of how do we make this cool?
Exactly.
Than Hogan ever, because Hogan was just like, you want to make it cool, brother.
And then you have Bischoff saying motorcycles, motorcycles, motorcycles.
And right in on garbage trucks for Sold Out. So yeah. Oh, cool. Staples might be done with our stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, I like that. I like all that. I think it's great. But yeah, I think why is it we both want to save WCW?
Well, that was like when we mutually really got into wrestling.
Yeah.
It's like the glory days in our mind.
But like one of the coolest memories I have is watching the split screen on Nitro.
Yeah,
Vince
I remember
McMahon.
that.
We would have robbed us of that.
But we didn't know what was going to happen afterwards.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because none of it was really all that good. Invasion was kind of crap.
Yeah, it was.
Anyways, moving on. We got another good question.
Yes.
Matt Chat Hall of Famer Zach S.
Correct.
Who, by the way, as he's going to point out in the video, is going to be bringing a Friendo giveaway to the Friendo meetup tomorrow night.
7
at
o'clock,
Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's Sunday,
Hoffman
September
Estates.
2nd. We'll have the exact address. We'll do a Twitter thing or something.
Yeah, Twitter at Real Going In Raw. Make sure you're there. Let's see what Zach S. has to say, though, about wrestling.
Yes.
What's good, Steve Larson, Mandy Friendos out there. It's your official Friendoverse IWGP Heavyweight Champ, Zach S. Coming at you with another Match Chat question. Before I get to the question, just want to remind all of the Friendo universe that this Sunday, if you can, go to the Friendo meetup if you can, because there will not only be Stephen Larson there will also be the Friendo meetup giveaway where I'll be giving away about, I'd say, a bit over $300 worth of stuff, so be there. You can win some cool stuff. Besides that, the question this week is, which faction should Neville join? Suzuki-gun, Los Ingobernables de Japón, or the Firing Squad? Thanks, boys.
Thank you, Zach S.
Thank you, Zach S.
All right, man.
So which faction should Neville join?
Neville.
The answer is obvious. It is Suzuki-gun. He is he's a curmudgeon.
Oh, true.
Much like Minoru Suzuki, he fits in that respect. Like everything about him, I feel like just fits in so nicely with Suzuki-gun, and he provides something they don't have, a high flyer. It's perfect. It's a perfect fit. Imagine, you kind of poo-poo Suzuki-gun a little bit because they're very top-heavy. It's Suzuki, it's Zack Sabre Jr., and then in your mind, there's a massive drop-off for everybody else.
Factually.
Add Neville to that mix. Your 3 top-of-the-line guys hold up just as well to anybody in any of the other factions in New Japan. Suzuki-gun is the correct answer.
Of course it's Suzuki-gun. Could you imagine Pac and Ospreay? I'm sorry, Ospreay. Zack Sabre Jr. running wild over New Japan as like a tag team / freaking Neville's taking over the junior division.
Heck yeah.
Could you imagine mean Neville to the Suzuki level of meanness?
Oh,
it's
incredible.
Of course Suzuki-gun.
It's incredible.
Nothing else makes sense. Bullet Club doesn't make sense. It's a cluttered mess. There's too many people there. Could you imagine the matches we'd get between the Young Bucks and Zack Sabre Jr. and Neville if they
Fantastic.
did become like a
It'd be
heavyweight tag
incredible.
team?
Incredible.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Oh,
Can't wait to see it. Suzuki-gun.
Dude,
There's only one answer.
It's Suzuki-gun.
Unless he starts his own faction.
No, man, it's Suzuki-gun. That's what it is. Could you, man, the matches that we're going to get,
what-
we are going to get.
What if he starts a faction called the Wolf Pack?
The Slow Wolf Pack?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You can get this sticker. Come by today at StarCast.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow. Yeah, today. No,
Today,
We're there today. We're there
Saturday.
today.
We have to-
Saturday.
We're
We're there
recording
today.
this on Wednesday, but never mind, it has to be Saturday. See,
We're there.
this is when it's going up.
Today. Come get the sticker.
Yes. Another question. The next question from Joshua the Dynamic Knight Martinez. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey friendo, Joshua Martinez back this week with another question. It's a little dark right now. I'm outside of work because it's 6 a.m. and I'm working 4 10-hour shifts to go to All In so I can leave by Thursday night. With that being said, by the time most of you are watching this, All In has already passed, and let's just say it was probably a great show. And we know this past weekend that Neville is no longer with WWE, so he might have been at All In. I can't say for sure yet. But let's fantasy book something. Let's say a year from now, the Young Bucks and Cody put on another All-In show. And let's say WWE lets them borrow 6 wrestlers to do a Elite Bullet Club versus WWE match. Where it's Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Cody, and the Young Bucks. That's 5. 5 on 5. Versus some 5 WWE people. Who do you choose? Thanks, friendos.
Thank you, Joshua, the Dynamic Knight Martinez.
Thank you, Joshua. So, Steve, pick 5 wrestlers to take on the elite, well, at least the elite Cody, and I believe he said Marty Scurll at All In 2.
All right, well, for Marty Scurll, because Okada enjoyed taunting him with the 205 thing, the 205 Live thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose somebody from 205 Live. My favorite guy right now on 205 Live, the man of the hour, a 23-year-old piece of gold, Lio Rush. I think that'll get the crowd super hyped. He'll be running circles around everybody in that ring. That's A. Give me also to take on the Elite, given that there's a lot of Bullet Club crossover there. I'm going to put Finn Balor and AJ Styles in my crew. I need 2 more. Seth Rollins, because I want to see him match up with Kenny Omega for sure. Is Kenny Omega in his group? The Elite, yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, I'm going to choose, well, I already said Seth. Screw it. Roman Reigns.
All right. So almost a Shield.
Yeah, almost Shield.
New Day taking on the Elite.
Oh, that's good.
AJ Styles, got to toss him in there because of the Bullet Club stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And because Kenny said he wants a match against AJ.
Of course.
And here's my 5th pick.
Right.
Goldust. Cody never got that match against his brother in WWE.
Oh, Dustin Runnels. That'd be good. That's
what
cool.
I want to see.
I'd want to see, if it's going to be Goldust, I'd like Dustin Runnels with the black button-up vest and the red leather with the tassels.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'd want to see.
No, Goldust.
And some white boots.
Has to be Goldust.
And then maybe like a headband. He needs to be full-on like 1991 Dustin Runnels. That's what I want to see.
Well, that's what
What
you
a
want
great
to see.
answer. I just improved your answer.
No, you didn't.
Good job, me.
Not good job. Next question is from Loki.
Uh-oh, the ultimate henchman, Loki. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Stephen Larson. Dr. Claw with my first matchup question.
Just kidding, still me, Loki Richard, repping Nemo's merch shirt, available exclusively in her closet.
You're such an idiot.
But I'm your idiot. My question for you is, what is the worst reveal in wrestling history? Is it Vince McMahon's higher power reveal? The gobbledygooker? The choice is yours.
Thank you, Loki.
Thank you, Loki.
Oh, I got to go first. This is one answer. It's the Shockmaster.
Oh, that's the best reveal ever. Are you kidding
It's
me?
the best and the worst. So he's supposed to break through the wall Kool-Aid Man style. Instead, trips over because someone put an extra piece of wood down there. You have Sid there trying not to laugh.
Yeah, you have Ole literally laughing as he's trying to do the voice for the Shockmaster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the
pretty
best
great.
and it's the worst.
Stevie Ray and Booker T are just happy to be involved, I think, in an angle with like main event level talent. And they're just like, be professional.
Yeah.
Be
Well, there's also
professional.
the matter that Shockmaster's helmet's the Stormtrooper helmet, spray painted like sparkly silver.
Yeah.
And he's got some sort of fuzzy vest on and
Yeah.
a pair of probably Wranglers, some jeans.
Yeah.
It's just a weird outfit.
It's a mess.
The debut was bad, but in
What do you
hindsight,
think-
awesomely bad.
What do you think Shockmasters, if had that tragic reveal gone perfectly to plan?
Oh, it would have been
what
the same
was
way.
Ceiling.
There was no ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Would he have even showed up in the next time he showed up? Would he have had that same outfit?
No,
on?
they
Because
did change his gimmick eventually.
They changed his gimmick to
to
like
like a
normal
construction
dude.
worker or something
construction
like
worker,
that.
Yeah.
No, that would have been it.
Yeah.
I think that gimmick, even if that debut, that reveal had gone off correctly, was DOA.
I think
So-
you're right about that.
Shockmaster.
What that had to have been just completely thrown together.
Seemed like it.
You know, although how much it's got to take some time at least to get that stormtrooper helmet to look
Spray
like that.
painted it. Looked great.
It was a very impressive looking stormtrooper helmet.
It was very sparkly.
Anyways, so what is it? The worst reveal?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Look, he mentioned it. He had it exactly right, dude. It's the higher power. What a great way to introduce a new wrestler. Supposed to be Chris Daniels. Apparently, all of a sudden, he was too short. And then he never showed up in the WWE after that. So he was perpetually too short for everybody.
Yeah.
Of course, he's had a Hall of Fame worthy career outside of the WWE, but it ended up being Vince. I remember being very interested in this storyline because that's at the peak of when we were watching.
Yeah.
And then it was just Vince.
It was underwhelming.
Didn't make any sense storyline wise. It was stupid. It was terrible.
It both made no sense. It was the most obvious person for it to be.
Exactly. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Yeah. Why? Show us how that works.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't.
Doesn't.
So yeah, it's come on. Yeah, it's the higher power.
Shockmaster.
That's a great one though.
Yeah.
That's
It is
awesome.
great. It's bad.
It's great and bad.
And bad.
Yeah.
All right, next up from your Zodiac Killer.
Oh no.
Let's see what Steve Zodiac Killer has to say.
Very scary.
Hello, Stephen Larson. Here's another matchup question from Steve's Zodiac Killer. Another quick one for you. With the Bellas being shoved down our throats, who's the better Bella, Nikki or Brie? I love to hear your answers. Two sweetheart handshake, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Steve Zodiac Killer.
Scary. Anyways, what's the question?
Who's the best Bella?
Oh God.
Between Nikki and Brie, you can't answer JJ.
Well, yeah, it's JJ or John Cena. No, he's not even a Bella.
No, John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, I mean it's Brie.
Why?
She seemed because look, I don't know. All I see is what I know on TV. But also, you can kind of extrapolate the kind of person that Daniel Bryan kind of is. Like he seems like a cool person, you know. And Brie seems to make him happy, so I think she's probably a cool person. Nikki Bella comes off as like just the most vacuous freaking human being in the wrestling world. Like she literally was just annoying on that show. And anybody who would even get involved with John Cena in the first place, I don't know, man. Gold digger, right? Isn't that what it is? Not the term? But then she's a business person on her own. She's creating content. So I don't know. It's Brie. She's the better Bella.
Here's one bit of evidence I can use in defense of Nikki. She doesn't have a song that goes Brie mode.
God damn it, you're right. And I actually kind of like her theme song.
It's not bad.
And she does the little booty dance when she comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. And she won more championships?
Probably.
All right, it's Nikki.
It's Nikki.
But
Kayfabe. It's Nikki. Yeah.
Behind the scenes, from what we can tell,
it's probably Brie. But then again,
like, how do you not know what you're getting into with John Cena? The guy's like a robot.
Yeah,
he's not going to be any fun. He's not going to be a family man. He's not going to put seed in you that's going to blossom into child.
Probably not.
You know, and then be around.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's his thing.
Next
and he seemed pretty upfront about it for the most part.
He really did. Oh, man, the enforcer himself, Stevie Bradley, and now one of the holy trinity of moderators. Let's see what he has to say.
Stephen Larson, it's the enforcer. Good to be back. And it's good to also have this new power that I was bestowed upon by Stephen Larson. Moderators in chat get a nice wrench. So, what does the enforcer have to do? Well, he's got to get himself a big-ass wrench. Got me thinking, though, as I was walking around, seeing all these gimmicks out there. Power rank foreign objects. What is the best to get the job done? It's the most iconic. Please, let me know your thoughts, because I will get this wrench over. Too sweet and a hearty handshake.
Thank you, Enforcer.
Thank you, Enforcer Stevie.
So
Bradley.
he wants us to power rank foreign objects. Now, in terms of, I feel like we kind of had this question, whether, I can't remember if it was in Matt chat or in chat. I don't remember what it was. But we didn't have to power rank. We had to pick one.
Yeah.
So you pick Sledgehammer and I pick Steel Chair, because I think Steel Chair is the most versatile foreign object in wrestling history. You can hit someone with it. You can drop someone on top of it.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of uses for a Steel Chair, whereas a Sledgehammer, there's kind of just one. You hit them with it.
Yeah, okay.
So I would give the edge to Steel Chair.
All right. Well, I'll
Number
tell
one.
you what, dude. Look,
in terms of legacy, what's the most famous or impactful?
Yeah.
It's the Sledgehammer.
Okay. Well, no, I might even give that rub to Steel Chair. Well, that's a good point. Steel Chair is number one, Sledgehammer number two. Number three, a new player has emerged into the lexicon for me personally, foreign objects. I'm going to put it at number three, and that's the spike and baseball bat combo that we saw at Slammiversary. Sammy Callahan. Oh, are we going to get the tickets to Sammy Callahan's N64?
If there's walk-ups.
See if there's walk-ups.
Here, let's do this. 3 will be baseball bat, and then an addendum to it.
Yeah.
3A.
Yeah.
You can mention the spikes.
Baseball bat's great.
Yeah, baseball bat is good.
Yeah, sure.
It has all a lot of the impact you can use with the Sledgehammer, but lighter.
Yeah.
So yeah, bat's good.
So we have a variety of potential number 4s and 5s. Stun gun. A cattle prod.
A ladder.
Ladder, yeah.
I'd put ladder ahead of table because table all you can really do is set it up and drop someone through it.
Yeah, but I mean,
ladder you can hit someone with it. You can jump off it. You can put someone through it.
Yeah.
Again, more versatile than table. Table's pretty one-dimensional. I wouldn't have that in the top 5.
I mean, I'm talking about like, what if we go to DDT Pro territory where you have things like go-kart,
mini bike,
office cubicle,
barge and pond.
Right, exactly. What was 8? And then we can't leave out.
Oh no, this is it. Number 4, fireworks. As seen in the
final deletion.
Final deletion.
Yeah, that okay. Number
Fireworks.
4 is fine with that. How about this? Made famous by somebody using it on Onita in that.
Oh, the sickle.
The sickle.
All right, that's good.
The
That's
sickle.
good.
The sickle.
That's good.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Good. That's a good list.
Look, Pete Dunne, he's been known to pick up children and
use them
launch
as weapons.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fans.
Yeah.
The crowd.
Yeah, that's good too.
Use them. Anyways.
All good answers.
All
Next.
great answers.
Next, we got a video from...
Is Stevie Bradley just walking around with that wrench?
Seems that way.
Is he moderating life?
It seems like it. That's a pretty massive wrench too.
It really is. He's just walking around the mall,
Yep.
moderating people.
Seems like it.
Cut out that language. You're banned.
Yeah.
What? Gang.
Next from DJ Mott. Let's see what DJ Mott has to say.
Hey, Stephen Larson. It is your Going in Raw sneakerhead DJ Mott here, back from the college dorm. Anyways, quick question for you guys. Who, by the end of 2018, needs to be Raw and SmackDown's top heels? Too sweet. Hearty handshake. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, DJ Mott. So, Steve, do I get a... You go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
Who will be top heels for the Raw and SmackDown brands by the end of this year?
On Raw, I mean, dude, we're coming up to the fall. We're like in the fall right now, basically. I mean, it looks like top heel is going to be Braun Strowman on Raw. Everybody's scared of him. He had a heel turn this past Monday. No more cutesy Braun Strowman. Now he's just, I told you I'm not finished with your face. So Braun Strowman on Raw. Over on SmackDown, it's going to be The Miz. He might have that WWE title by the end of 2018, but my heart really wants to see Almas be top heel by the end of 2018, but that seems more likely to be like mid-2019. I mean, if Shinsuke's not even on TV this week, what chance does Almas have to be top heel? So it's going to be
Strowman and Miz. Those are the correct answers.
Strowman and Miz.
Strowman and Miz, yeah.
And you got to admit, there's a great that's 180 degrees away from each other in terms of type of heels. SmackDown's killing it with that 2 hours they have. Mm-hmm. Man, they've got so much good stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, would you consider right now Becky top heel? She's loved.
No, she's an anti-hero.
She's
pretty
an
much.
anti-hero, man.
Pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. Stone Cold of the 2018s.
Heck yeah.
Anyways.
Next, we got a question from a new Matt Chatter.
A new Matt Chatter has arrived.
Yes, Kyan Mangan.
Okay.
Let's see what Kyan has to say.
Nice.
Hey, Stephen Larson. For my Matt Chat question, at WrestleMania 22, John Cena had the Mafia entrance where a car came down to the ring and 6 guys came out of it and surrounded the ring. I want you guys to pick 6 current NXT superstars to take those roles now, and why? Too sweet? Hearty handshake.
Thank you, Kyan.
Thank you, Kyan.
So, an interesting question. John Cena's entrance to WrestleMania 22.
Great name, Kyan.
Made famous by CM Punk being...
It's like Kyle and Ryan smashed up.
CM Punk being one of the guys dressed up, riding along on the side rail of the car.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. You can't do that where, like, NXT...
What do you mean you can't do that?
Well,
Didn't they just do that last year with, like, Sabatelli and Moss? They were something.
With masks on?
Yeah.
Like, the NXT is so visible. You have to go to, like, their house show circuit.
That's exactly what you have to do.
Like, maybe Marcel Bartel, he can be one. Like, you can't put Keith Lee out there.
No.
No.
Dan Matha.
Dan Matha, he could be one.
Top notch.
Really? Dijakovic?
He's only been on TV once.
Did you see one of the comments? Somebody said, I thought that his new name was just a Going in Raw joke. The Donovan died. No, that's real.
It's real.
That's real.
It's real. So we have...
What's that dude, Brendan Williams?
Yeah.
He could be one. Nobody knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to do his own thing, though. I'm looking forward to seeing. He's on some of that the super nerdy up down down stuff.
Oh yeah,
the role playing game. He's hilarious.
Oh, that's.
I've only watched a little bit. But
what about formerly known as Gunner in TNA, Chad Lal?
Yeah, I guess
he hasn't debuted on TV yet.
Who's that new dude? Jackson Riker. Who's that guy? Oh, that's Chad Lal.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, his last name's Riker. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you'd think it would be.
I think he's got a beard too.
Okay, well, get a power gut, and you're there.
There you go.
Star Trek.
Yeah. So we have Matha, Brennan Williams.
All right.
Jackson Riker.
Okay. Steve Cutler. Nobody knows that guy.
Marcel
looks like.
Bartel.
Yeah.
We know who Steve Cutler looks like.
I don't know. I would not pick him out of a lineup.
He has the chops, man. That's 4. We need 2 more.
Yeah.
What about Cesar Bononi?
I know what he looks like.
He's super tall too.
He's a standout handsome dude too.
Yeah.
What about the other Brazilian guy that hangs out with him?
Oh, Adrian Jaoud.
Jaoud.
Yeah. He's been on TV a couple times, maybe.
He's been on TV a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 5. That's good enough.
There you go.
But no, you're right. It would be hard to have anybody who's regularly on NXT TV.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have Matt Riddle show up. Maybe Riddick Moss.
Riddick Moss still.
Hell yeah, man.
Still. Oh, what's
all right.
next?
From Stephen Cupers. Let's see
Okay.
what Stephen Cupers has to say.
Of your games, Cupers.
Hey, friendos, this is Stephen Cupers, the American in Down Under, coming to you with another Matt Chat question. Now, my question for Steven Larson this week is, if NXT were to do another Breaking Ground series, which talent would be the focus? Let's go 2 women, 2 men, and a tag team. And which of them would get a title opportunity, and which one would get cut? Now, just for the fun of it, let's not have the Undisputed Era in this, because we all know that they will be holding all the belts on the main roster. Too sweet, hearty handshake. Catch you in the next one.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
So we can have the series of a season of Breaking Ground, the great reality show about NXT developmental talents.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Made a star Baron Corbin.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
So Stephen wants us to cast the second season of that. We need 2 men, 2 women, 1 tag team.
Okay. Street Profits. They
That would be
sort
good.
of, they're hot. They're kind of holding back on them a little bit. Now they seem to be hot a little again. We had that mouth injury. I would kind of be interested. And then, of course, Bianca Belair, because she's married now to Montez Ford.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be interesting. These guys didn't come up in the independents, I don't think. Did they?
I think Angelo Dawkins made.
Did he? Okay. I wouldn't want, at this point, he's too beyond this, Patrick Clark.
Yeah.
He might. Was he at all in the first?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
So it'd be good. It would be fun to see somebody like if they do sign Mia Yim,
Mm-hmm.
somebody who has an extensive history, not just on the indies, but also in like TNA.
Yeah.
See what it's like for her to transition into the WWE's way of doing
Yes,
things.
yes.
That would be really interesting to me. The fact that they're bringing in these guys. And then, of course, just have a camera with the Undisputed Era.
Yeah. Well, he said no Undisputed Era.
Well, I'm sorry. That has to happen.
Anything where Undisputed Era is an answer in the affirmative, that's the answer. Anyways.
What do you say?
My tag team would be the Mighty, because I imagine the ups and downs.
It's going to be a tragedy.
Yeah, that they might be dealing with. I don't know, speculation. Coming in, having that great 2-part documentary series done, I'm seeing like they're primed for a huge face push, and then has this heel turn. They're not even strong heels, even though they're a really good tag team. The kind of backstage stuff in terms of how they're developing all that might be interesting. In terms of, so I was trying to think of somebody who'd been around for a while, who started out purely, in WWE developmental and has been there this whole time while they're bringing indie stars in.
Yeah.
And how they deal with that. Wesley Blake, former NXT Tag Team Champion with Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, okay.
He's a member of the Forgotten Sons with Jackson Riker and Steve Cutler.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what his experience has been like being in WWE developmental for so long, and hopefully getting another chance with Forgotten Sons, if they actually put him on TV at some point.
Right. Lars Sullivan would be an interesting breaking ground guy.
Yeah, Lars and Kona Reeves, I think, are the two developmental guys that'd be pretty interesting.
I could not give a shit about Kona. But here's the thing about Lars, because here's the thing about Kona Reeves. I'm sure, I mean, he could be fascinating, sure. But with Lars Sullivan, they obviously have huge expectations for him.
Yeah.
And so that process of grooming a guy who they have big expectations for, and he probably has an outsized personality as well behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So trying to teach him, a dude who probably is able to give you one look and you have to really watch yourself. I mean, I don't know. He might be like a tremendous sweetheart. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that would be interesting. I would just imagine a dude with that much physical power. Probably it's like, okay, well, let's teach you how to do this. Okay, well, be careful.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. See, how do you groom a monster?
Here's a few women from the women's division that I think would be interesting. If they had another season, they would definitely have a story arc around Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke.
Oh, for sure.
Getting ready for the ring.
Yeah.
Interesting to see a storyline about Tegan Knox dealing with injury again.
Tragedy.
Yeah. And then Casey Catanzaro, someone who is a tremendous athlete based on her American Ninja Warrior experience, learning the ropes as a professional wrestler. That'd be all interesting stuff.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of great stories out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Next
from Steven.
Oh, Steven. Let's see what Steven has to say.
Conas the how-to friendos, agus an will to go on. How are we friendos? I hope you're doing well. This is your Irish linguistic expert, Stephen. We're here with my first ever match chat question. Should WWE take from other sports? For example, in MMA, title defenses are a big thing, whereas in WWE, it's more about how long the title reign is and how many times the champion has held the belt. There's also a huge focus on looking at matchups. Matchups make fights, styles make fights. So you have a submission artist versus a striker. And that's, I feel, not as focused as much in WWE. I'm not saying WWE should go full MMA, but I feel like maybe there's stuff they could cherry pick from other sports to improve the product, along with smarter victories like watching tape on your opponent, like you had with the likes of Bobby Roode versus Nakamura. He had studied his opponent and knew when the Kinshasa would be coming. So should WWE take from other sports, and how should they do so? Too sweet, hearty handshake.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks, Stephen.
I'm sure the WWE takes stuff from other sports. Heck yes, give me instant replay. Botch pin, you get a replay.
Advertisements on jerseys.
There you go.
Like you see this a bit more, I think maybe
in the NBA. You see the NBA now. They've got ads on their jerseys. Most of the MLS teams here, soccer teams, both here, and then also, of course, the football teams in Premier League and such. They all have ads on their jerseys.
So yeah, I want to see ads all over because WWE they. So ads all over. I want to see home and away jerseys.
Good.
I don't really know what that means in the context of wrestling. Would you only wear one separate jersey?
I don't know if they necessarily do this in WWE, but in New Japan, I think they still have the red and blue corner. So if you're in the red corner, that could be either home or away, and vice versa.
Okay, I like that.
So you have specific gear, not that it's color coded for red or blue, but for the corners where you start the match.
Trophies. More trophies.
Yeah.
Cups.
You mentioned this earlier. Best of 7 series.
Oh, yeah.
Tournaments and best of 7 series, please.
WWE needs a lot more tournaments and best of 7 series for sure. Yeah. I like that New Japan has, don't they have advertising on their mat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. UFC does the same thing. I want to see advertising on the mat.
Well, there's like WWE. No, not actually. There's not. Only in the cruiserweight division is there cruiserweight logos on the mat.
Yeah, but that's just logos.
Yeah,
I was
gonna say there is advertising, but it's for
beer
WWE.
logos.
That'd be great.
Yeah, beer logos.
Yeah, Bud Light Lime.
Yeah, Corona Premier.
Yeah,
there you go. Good question though.
Yeah, great question.
Lots that you can take from sports, man.
Oh heck yeah.
And did you mention instant replay? Already?
Yeah, that's the first thing I said.
Oh, that's great.
Every wrestler gets one challenge per match.
Yo, the red flag.
Yeah.
Have their manager, Zelina Vega,
Yeah.
Throws out the red flag.
There
and then
go.
the smart ones, they have an extra one, homemade one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throws it back out. It's like, wait a second. Hold on. Where is this coming from?
Exactly.
Slows down the match.
Exactly. Just what we need. Exactly. Next, from Christopher Rampersad. Let's see what Christopher has to say.
Hello, Steve Larson. My question is today is, this week on Raw, we see all superstars promoting Undertaker versus Triple H. So my question is today is, what dream match would you like to see in the Super Showdown?
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you. Yeah, the Super Showdown.
Yes.
Big deal. What time is that going to be here for us?
Like 1 in the morning or something like that.
We're going to live stream that shit, right?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, nice. So yeah, this is very exciting. Super Showdown, huge match, end of an era, part 2, or the era is back, whatever the fuck they're going to call it. Triple H and The Undertaker. There's at least 300 years between the two of us. Lots of in-ring, thousands of matches between the two of us, and we're going to do it again. But what other dream matches do you want to see?
Yeah, what dream matches? Yeah.
What other legends are still around? Okay, Booker T out of retirement.
Oh, that'd be good.
I want to just bring a bunch of people out of retirement, man. Booker T versus Batista.
All right.
One more time.
All right. What about Stone Cold versus CM Punk?
I don't want Phil Brooks.
Stone Cold goes over.
Okay, good. Yeah, just Stunner pours beer on him. Give that money back to that kid, Cole Cabana. He's a good kid. I've been on his podcast, son. Give that money back to him. Can you dig that, sucker? I don't know why I slipped in the Booker T there. Other legends. Trish Stratus versus Lita, part 7. End of an era.
Here's what I'm thinking.
I'm struggling.
Yeah.
AJ versus Shawn Michaels. Fucking give us that match finally.
Yeah, sure. Buddy Murphy. He's from Australia.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, have him win the Cruiserweight title. Something like that.
Dude, how about this?
Buddy Murphy goes over Cedric Alexander in Melbourne. That'd be massive.
Okay.
Be great for Buddy Murphy.
You want your main event?
What?
Drew Gulak versus a kangaroo. I win match chat today.
Yeah, I can't really top
versus
that.
A kangaroo.
Can't really top
I
that.
totally win that shit.
Yeah.
Can that be our thumbnail, please?
Sure.
Drew Gulak versus a kangaroo.
Sure.
Should Drew Gulak fight a kangaroo for Super Showdown?
Kangaroo with boxing gloves.
Yeah.
Drew Gulak with his nightgown on.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I want to see.
All right. You win. All right, next from Patrick Sparks. B-Man has
chat.
to say.
Hall of Famer, the B-Man.
Hey, friendos. Batty here. So, wrestling is full of memories, moments, and all that good stuff. But, superstars also have high points and low points. So, my debate for you this week is, Steve, I want you to give me the high and low points of Stone Cold, Mick Foley, and John Cena. Larson, I would like you to do the same, only with The Rock, Undertaker, and AJ Styles. I want the high points of their career and the low points of their career. And then I want you to power rank the high and low points of the entire group of that 6. Thanks, friendos. Sleepy Doge. Goodbye.
Thank you, B-Man.
Thank you, B-Man.
Okay, so let's run this down.
You can go first. You can go.
Let's just collaborate on this one. Stone Cold low point has to be Ringmaster, right? He's in ECW.
Or walking out when Vince told him the job out to Brock on the episode of Raw.
Well, that wasn't on camera, so we didn't really witness
That's still a low
that.
point of his career, though, probably.
Yeah, sure, but come on, Ringmaster. Look,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Hey, look, at that point when he walked out, he had already reached his peak. He was all good with the money.
Yeah, he was, but I think it wasn't just him walking out because he didn't want to lose to Brock. He was doing a lot of personal stuff at the time too.
Yeah, Ringmaster is the answer because that was going nowhere.
Yeah.
Foley, his high point.
Probably win the title on Raw.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think which time. Probably, obviously there's 14, but then 15 maybe against The Rock. Wait, did he fight The Rock at 15?
No, Stone Cold wrestled The Rock at 15.
That's what I was talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still on Stone Cold. I'm looking at his high points.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
his high points? Oh, it's beating HBK, I would think, for the title.
You would think the first title?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Foley is winning the title on Raw. That's the high point.
Oh, yeah.
This is a low point.
Was he ever part of the Kiss My Ass Club?
Don't remember.
Probably not.
Maybe the second fall on the Hell in the Cell match that wasn't planned.
Oh, no, I mean, TNA.
Yeah.
Probably TNA.
Yeah.
Because he was like, yeah, I'm retiring. Yeah, I'm retiring, and then he came back to TNA. Yeah, probably that.
Cena, I mean, I could think of 17 or 16 high points for him.
He's had a lot of high points. What's his biggest high point? I mean, it's not going to be winning the title off JBL.
No,
like a later title. Beating The Rock. That was like one of the bigger.
Yeah, probably
bigger
that
things.
Or beating HBK.
Yeah,
Mania in the main event.
That could be.
Low point.
Low point for Cena.
They get squashed by Undertaker at Mania in 4 minutes.
You think this past year? I don't know, man. He did that for a very specific reason. He's already moved on.
Yeah, I know.
So that was like...
I don't really know what his low point would be.
He had a great debut.
Apparently, wasn't he on the verge of getting fired at one point, according to him?
Was that right before Thugonomics happened?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I guess that
could be. Like, if you have a hot debut and then you just peter out, that's got to be a low point.
The prototype.
But that's a good low point to have because the rest of it is all high point, high point.
Pretty good. All right, The Rock. Low point is obviously when he was Rocky Maivia and the crowd was chanting, die, Rocky, die.
Yeah, absolutely.
High point...
I would wonder if professionally high point might be the night after Survivor Series.
It could be.
98.
I was also thinking...
Because he was electric.
Yeah. When he finally beat Stone Cold at Mania at 19.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That could be. That could be. There's also the fact that SmackDown was named after him.
There's also that match against Hogan. WrestleMania 18.
Oh, that's it. That's it right there.
I was listening to...
that's the ultimate torch pass? Oh, yeah.
I was listening
can't
to
believe anything about
the Talk of Jericho with Cody and the Bucks, Young Bucks, and they all say that's their favorite match ever.
It's... For that, I mean, it's to me, it's got to be like the most iconic WrestleMania match
pretty
of all
electric.
time, you know?
It's pretty electric.
It's either that or Hogan Andre.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, we're both big fans of the end of the era match.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
But... I mean, in terms of, I remember watching that match. Where was I? I was at that bar. What's that place called in L.A.?
Yankee Doodles?
Yankee Doodles. And they were airing it there. And, dude, everybody there was just like, oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
Undertaker, low point is when the streak ended against Brock.
Oh, that's a low point? Really?
I think so, yeah.
Well, he was also concussed.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they had any...
What's worse, though? Ending that streak or losing against Roman Reigns?
Probably ending the streak. Everybody loses to Roman Reigns these days.
I wonder if but it's against Brock. I feel like Undertaker as a professional was probably like, yeah, this is the right dude. This is the right guy. Because it was.
Oh, maybe the low point is that DDP feud.
That could be.
Yeah.
Giant Gonzalez.
Could be. Yeah, that's another good low point.
But he was still making a bunch of money. He was still the Undertaker. I'm trying to think of like a true...
I mean, if you go back to his days in WCW or something,
I guess.
I think it seemed like he was fired. He left.
I don't think he's ever had a low point. He came in hot and only got hotter.
Mm-hmm. He's a phenom.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, high point. I mean, low point's probably the Maury Povich inspired "Are You the Father" storyline at TNA, right?
Yeah, probably. Probably. High point. I mean, either his massive debut at the Rumble or his title win, like his first title win.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that. Wrestling Cena.
That match at SummerSlam was pretty awesome.
Being like top dude, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good question for him, though.
Yeah. Oh, then
he would I could probably, you know, he'd say, hey, what's your high point? Oh, WrestleMania. That's the biggest stage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm doing Hurricane Helms right now. But yeah, probably that.
And then Patrick wanted us to power rank. Top one has to be Stone Cold beating HBK for the title because that ushered in the Attitude Era fully. Austin,
it was the Austin era, yeah, sure.
I would say, from an emotional sense, next would have to be Foley win that title.
Oh man,
that was incredible.
It was great.
Oh
wait, but hold on a second.
What?
Rock v Hogan wouldn't be top 2. That might be number 1, dude.
All right, that might be number 1.
Might be
then
number
Stone
1.
Cold, then Foley.
Yeah.
And then. Did we say what Undertaker's top moment was? His high point? I don't think we did.
It's been like
beating Hogan for the belt for his first title win.
Yeah, I guess. Man, I don't know. Undertaker again.
Cena, and then Styles, or vice versa. Just because Styles hasn't been around as much in WWE, at least.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyways, next, Thayer Thabata has our final video question. Let's see what Thayer has to say.
Okay.
What improves a match more? The best American crowd or the best Japanese crowd?
Thank you, Thayer Thabata.
Thank you, Thayer Thabata. So, what enhances a match more? A hot American crowd or a hot Japanese crowd?
So, obviously, a Japanese crowd is known for being a bit more reserved until things get hot. And you know things are really good when they get hot. They're a really good barometer for, go out there and impress me.
Yeah.
We're not just gonna throw out "this is awesome" chants.
Yes.
Willy-nilly.
Yes.
But but then a good American crowd. There's crap American crowds, but a good American crowd can be really really beneficial to just a freaking great match. Like that ECW vibe. Tell me just a riot crowd isn't. Yeah. I would probably give the edge to a good American crowd that's like ECW level.
All right.
If the competitors are in there pouring everything they have into the ring, and you've got the crowd just ripping it up, to me, there's nothing better than that. That's what I'll say.
I'll go with a really good Japanese crowd for the reasons you said. They are the best barometer in terms of gauging performance.
They're not going to bullshit you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. They're not at all.
Yeah.
And if they're into it, odds are I'm going to be into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They get. I love when they get shocked.
Yeah.
You know, because you can hear like audible gasps.
I know.
You know, but I don't know, man. I'd rather be in that PWG, freaking ECW type when he's just sweating. Everybody's like, losing their minds. Oh man, that's euphoric.
Yeah. No, it's good.
We got a couple of text questions. You want to read the first one?
Sure.
From Mo Clo, Master of the Low Blow.
Sure. He says, SummerSlam 2019 is in Toronto. Should WWE consider doing more pay-per-views outside of the U.S., especially the Big Four? Why is it or isn't it best for business? I discount the greatest Royal Rumble and Super Showdowns. They feel more like attractions than canon programming. Thanks, friendo. I think a lot of it is just in terms of the broadcast issues with it.
That's why I think they're doing these special attraction international things. And the thing is, I think they are going to add more of them to their schedule, make them more canon.
Yeah.
The Miz and Daniel Bryan are fighting for the number one contendership, and that's a pay-per-view level stipulation right
definitely
there.
is, yes.
It is. So I think that you're going to get more stuff like that. It wouldn't surprise me if the next one is like in England or something, you know. I can totally see them going there for a special thing, a special event. So, yeah, I think that they'll probably take that route rather than change their core programming schedule.
Yeah.
They can do both. They can get the money internationally. And if that rumor we heard a little while ago that they're going to start branding these things as extra WrestleManias, you know, that's even more reason for them to go international, keep a little bit of canon, but then you also have special attraction matches like Triple H versus Undertaker, End of an Era Part 2. So I don't know. I think to me it kind of gives. I mean, look, I live here in California, so we're lucky enough to get a prime slot for when we get to watch our stuff. But I don't know. I kind of feel like for the WWE, anyways, it gives them their cake and lets them beat them.
Yeah.
So,
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Next, AO Worm. How would you guys change the writing in WWE if you two were in charge of that department? Who would you hire as new writers to get wrestlers like Apollo, Tide, The Ascension, Mojo, Rude, Kanellis over with the crowd and get them more TV time and better stories? They'll get the crowd to want them more. Thanks, friendos. Part of it is there's just only so many minutes of television you could produce per week, so you can't feature everybody every week. That's not to say you can't come up with storylines to get as many people involved as possible.
Let me ask you something. What do you think about the way New Japan handles their losers locker room? They're just parts of they're just part of factions. I kind of like that. So I might do that more just to take the idea of, oh, this guy's just a jobber. We know he's a jobber. Well, this guy's also, you know, he's a part of a faction. So he's got cool branding. And you never know. One of his faction buddies might help him out and get him, steal him a win.
Yeah.
So I might go that route.
I think more than anything, if we were in charge of WWE Creative, we would just say, okay, this is a story for Bob Roode, for example. Let's plan it out for a year and know where we're going with it and follow it through.
Or at least, hey, Survivor Series is in November. We're heading into September. What do we want to have at Survivor Series? Let's head there. But yeah, long-term story like booking a year out. I mean, I would imagine, look, it's easy to say that. We've never booked wrestling beyond video games. And I understand that there's all sorts of complexities there, injuries, the actual traveling schedule, all that kind of media appearances, all that kind of stuff. I understand. But, you see in New Japan long-term booking, and, you look at a guy like Okada, it's like, oh, my God, look at the story they can tell with that guy. And look at the character directions they can go with him. and it's all really compelling stuff. So I think what you're saying, long-term vision, is probably the thing that they're most in need of right now.
That, and as we see right now with this Becky-Charlotte feud, assuming they don't go all in on some needless, forced heel-face dynamic. And that's what I really like about New Japan, is that there's characters who are obviously heels, and there's some who are obviously faces, but a vast majority of them don't really swing either way to the extremes of the heel-face spectrum. A lot of them just exist in the middle. And depending on the storyline or feud, they may kind of waver more so one direction or another, but for the most part, there's not a whole lot of clear delineated faces and heels. I mean, look at, and oftentimes you have heels and faces in the same faction.
Yeah.
You know? So there's just more complexity, more variety in New Japan in terms of how they write their characters.
It's much more
and they're far,
interesting.
Yeah, and they're more often not far more grounded.
When you see personalities, the details of personalities clash with other personalities, as opposed to I'm good guy, I'm bad guy. This is more interesting.
It is. Finally, Tom Fox. Unfortunately, he has to. This is going to be his last Patreon or Matt Chat question for a while. He offers 2 of them. Says pick one, but since this is his last one for a little bit, we're going to do both of them. First one.
This was rude. I just did that.
Yeah,
that's in England. That's
not good.
That's like something Wayne Maker would do.
It's not good. Yeah,
creep.
First question: who is a bigger influence the wrestling industry as a whole, Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold? Again, because I just listened to Talk is Jericho with Cody and the Young Bucks, they all agree that Hogan is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, it's hard not to say
his influence extends in both positive directions, but also negative.
Yeah. Sure. Did they make that point as well?
No, I don't think so. Really
interesting.
Because you see the influence he had over people watching wrestling. He was hugely influential in the 80s. I mean, sure, he's a turd now, it seems like.
He's a turd now.
I mean, and if stories of his locker room behavior in terms of politicking and whatnot, it sounds like he's been a turd for a while.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we're just talking about how one's influence over wrestling as a whole.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue against Hogan.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard several times, and I made the case that Ric Flair is probably the most influential because he talked to a lot of wrestlers. If he asked them who is either their favorite or they're influenced most by, it seems like a lot of them were saying Ric Flair.
Sure, yeah.
More so than anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know, like with this current generation, if that's the same thing. You ask like Triple H or HBK that question, they say Flair.
Yeah.
But then you have wrestlers who may be 10, 15 years younger, and they'll probably by and large say Hogan.
Yeah, probably.
But then you have wrestlers probably coming up now, and if you ask them, they might very well say Stone Cold. It's a
Oh,
generational
for sure, yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it's funny. HBK is now the new Flair because like everybody loved HBK, and then of course now we've got Stone Cold, like Kevin Owens, Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Hogan. I'm not sure there would be wrestling the way we know it if it wasn't for Hogan, because it's funny. We had this question before. It's like if Hogan ever existed, who would have filled that role as guy who the WWE
built the
company around? And I don't know that there is a guy out there that had his unique, very 1980s charisma.
Yeah.
Dude, that stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's Hogan. Of course, it's Hogan. He mainstreamed it. Him and Vince, they mainstreamed wrestling, and Stone Cold was able to capitalize off that in a time where he fit exactly what people wanted from wrestling. And he's the biggest draw, I guess, in history or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's Hogan. Without Hogan, I'm not sure that there would have been a platform for Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yep. His second question: who should induct Vince McMahon to the Hall of Fame? Tom Fox thinks Vince should induct himself because that's the most Vince McMahon thing he could do before he officially retires.
It's one of
It's gonna be Triple H.
You don't think it's gonna be Stone Cold?
Well, it could be. That's a good answer too.
I would. It's funny because Triple H wasn't even on my radar. I was gonna say it was either gonna be Stone Cold or wait. Do you have to be part of the Hall of Fame first to induct somebody else?
I believe so. No.
Stephanie and Shane.
Yeah.
Could be Dad.
Yeah.
But no, Triple H is good too.
Yeah.
I'm about to put this guy in the Hall of Fame. He's my dad. He's my real dad. What? No.
Father-in-law.
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 I'm the game. Anyways, that's it for Matt Chat. Drew Gulak versus the Kangaroo. I totally won this week.
I can't really top that.
Thanks for watching. Next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.